Hi guys, good morning. So I've been doing a lot of thinking in the last couple of weeks, especially in the last couple of days, and came across some videos of people with basically the same train of thought as myself. And it's normalization and the great divide and conquer. Now, we all know what divide and conquer means. Well, presumably we do. You call yourself half awake, you gotta know what that terminology means, divide and conquer, right? It's always been quite obvious to me that they do not like any kind of communion between people. They don't like that. They set the sexes against each other, male versus female, young people versus old people, as is witnessed very much by, say, the behavior of millennials towards the boomers. A lot of young people, it's sad, but it's a fact, they're fucking narcissistic and entitled and just really fucking sociopathic, virtue signaling. I see this all the time. I've got one living down the road from me and it's like, what the fuck, scary shit, man, because there's no actual compassion or empathy there at all. It's like, look, I'm doing something really nice for somebody else. It's all about me, it's all about me. It's really scary shit, but anyway. So also countries against countries, right? So the Chinese are all evil and we hate them and they do terrible things to animals. Yes, they do, it's true. We hate the Germans. You know, in my country, I was raised to think the Germans are evil because of what happened in the Second World War. You know, I've gotten totally over that now, and I like a lot of German people and met a lot of German people who are brilliant and excellent, wonderful, amazing people. They make fucking good cars and they invented the book press and so forth and so on. And if you go to Heidelberg, it's the most beautiful city. It's human beings. This is what I'm trying to say. Human beings can achieve amazing things, even in the fallen world, even in the mundane reality, the grey, bleak, upside down world. People are capable of amazing things. So that tells you something about human beings, which actually I think human beings might be a derogatory term. I think it might be, because what it insinuates is that we are these meatbags and that we are basically fixed. This is who you are, human beings. So many times now I've heard this, it's human nature, and it's always a bad thing. It's always about rape, murder, envy, hate, war. Oh, it's human nature, you know. It's like, no it isn't. It's trauma-based mind control. That's why we behave this way. It's interesting, I got a comment from somebody, I think, who lives in India. Hello. Saying that, oh, your lives there are so easy. Look at you sitting in that graveyard surrounded by beauty and birds, and your lives are so easy. And that is an example of somebody who's actually kind of been had. There is truth in what you say. Yes, I know this. I went to Morocco. There were people there with health conditions that here you would go to the hospital for on the NHS for free-ish and have it sorted out. There they're forced to live with it because they're poor. I do know, yes, it's true that in India there is a shitload of horrendous poverty. This is true. However, and there's loads of other problems, loads of other abuse, loads of other shit going on, and I think Gandhiji would be turning in his grave. There's a lot of foreign interests in India, which no doubt is certainly in part why it is that way, but it seems that, and I've noticed this before, when you go to places like India or Pakistan or the Philippines or Morocco, even places like that, I don't know, I compare it to, say, going to Finland or Norway or Denmark or Sweden or even my own country, Holland, and you see that people just more intelligently understand what's going on and are working together. There is more social cohesion to an extent, and there is a higher understanding of basic human rights and of communion and how to treat each other, because you don't seem to really get that so much in places like India and the Philippines, China, it's odd because you get a sense of collectivism in those countries, but the collective is made up of the individual, and if the rights of the individual are considered as nothing, and the individual is considered as, well, worthless, the only worth you have as in is in being part of the collective, then collectivism is a nefarious monster, if you think about it, right? Because it's made up of individuals, hello. So that's fucking bullshit. We've all been, I spoke about this in previous videos where I say that every country, as it were, has a border around it. So it is, in and of itself, kind of in lockdown, and always has been in isolation, and always has been, because you need a passport to leave that country, and then you need a passport to come back in. You need a passport to go somewhere else, or you even need a visa, which you may not always get, depending on whether you have a criminal record or whatnot. Now, some people may have serious criminal records, other people may have a criminal record for something they didn't actually do, or for something quite minor. But it would stop them from being able to get a visa into Australia, New Zealand, America, you name it, right? Or vice versa. So we've always kind of been in lockdown anyway, people. And it's all about the great divide and conquer, because there is power and strength in unity. And I will get to that point in a minute, I hope, because I do ramble and then I forget, but I'll try my best. The point is that, yes, life in India, I can truly imagine, and I do love Bollywood, I love a lot of Indian films, and I love Indian culture, and I love a lot of, you know, all the beautiful colours, all the incense, and the sense that people seem to encapsulate joy. You like parties in India, I know that much, and you have all these festivals, and I think they're fantastic. I have a lot of heart for India, always have had. You see me doing that video in that graveyard and you think that I'm living the life of Riley. Well, you couldn't be more wrong, absolutely. Yes, I'm not living in abject poverty, but believe me when I say that my life is not an easy life, and that there is plenty of hideous, grim, bleak ugliness in England. Trust me. There are things called council estates. They are appalling. A lot of people in this country are very poor. Yes, they have enough to eat, but they live surrounded by ugliness. And in England, there isn't really that community spirit that I do see you having in India, where people really get together. What was that saying again? Necessity breeds invention. You know, you guys have had it really hard in India. You were really fucked over, first by the British Raj, and then partition, and then by the corporations, and by greedy scumbag politicians, psychopaths, and this happens over and over and over again. There's a great book called The White Tiger that taught me a lot. I've read a lot of books by Indian authors. I've never been to India, and that's something a real remedy. I will visit your country, I really will, but you know, you people rise to the challenge. You really fucking do. You rise to the challenge, and maybe in a sense you're right. Maybe something has to happen in this country so that people here grow a spine and rise to the occasion more, like you guys clearly do often enough in India. You know, you make great entrepreneurs, you know how to fucking recycle, you know how to stick together and fight for your rights. Here in England, people are very passive. People comply, they just comply, and they're doing it right now. They're complying with the so-called lockdown, with self-isolation. They are that's it. I mean, yesterday I was walking around and I could actually feel the dark generator, because there is, as we know, this picture is so much bigger than just mundane reality. This goes way fucking beyond it, and it's been going on for a very fucking long time. This is to do with beings that are not of this realm. You know, call them archons, call them jinn, it doesn't really matter what you call them, but they are influencing this realm, and they have done it for a very long time, and the actual story, the picture of this is very big. It's way beyond perhaps our comprehension. But I felt this dark generator, I felt this influence as, you better stay 6 feet away from people, because otherwise they will shame you, you know, like isolation shaming, quarantine shaming. The Corbett reported a really good piece on that yesterday, which I watched. And I was happy to see that other people are also realizing what this is really about. It's psychological fucking warfare. Of course it is. It's being implemented now. It's all about destroying the fabric, such as it is, of society, right? So that people look at each other and see not another human being, but a potential disease risk, potential death, right? Fear instead of joy, and instead of pleasure in seeing another human being and the potential that that might have. For many fucking years now, we've been conditioned to see each other as the enemy. Women think men are the enemy, men think women are the enemy, you know, the men are conditioned to think of women as objects and of sexual gratification, in many ways, porn. You know, women are often very narcissistic, like covert narcissists, pacifistic, like passive-aggressive bullshit. You know, there's religions that fight each other. You know, come on, we know the Great Divide and Conquer. We know it in all. Any of you who've done any serious observation of this world and critical thinking can see. But this is taking it a massive step further. You know, in that Corbett report, which, by the way, I posted a link to that video beneath my last video, find it. There's several other links there as well of stuff that you could watch, you know, as to what's going on. But it's this guy in a window on a balcony in fucking New York, flatten the curve, flatten the curve. So they use all this new sexy language. They always do that. They always come up with this new terminology. Flatten the curve, flatten the curve. It sounds a bit like a fucking surfer or something. It's ludicrous. They come out with this sexy new language that they then introduce, and already people are beginning to adjust to this new normal. So, and it's like Corbett says, and I agree with him, because this is exactly what happened after 9/11. They make sweeping changes where they take away liberty after liberty after liberty, where they tell you what you can speak, what you can't say, things, words, terminologies that you can't say, because, well, that's not politically correct, and that's racist, and ooh. So you start to censor yourself, and you start to censor other people, and other people start to censor you. That breeds dislike, that breeds hate, that breeds contempt, that breeds fear, that breeds all kinds of shit, you know? You just said this, oh, you can't say that. Even if you are not inclined that way, even if you are a freedom thinker, even if you are a soul traveler, right, you're still going to feel that. Because that is the esoteric element of it all. It's the energetic psyop that is being waged against us. So that yesterday I was walking along and I felt this influence, this dark generator saying, you should isolate, you shouldn't really be out, you really should be at home. Oh, somebody's coming, step aside, they might be sick. You see, all that was going on because the shadow, our wounded programmed self, is what it latches onto, the dark generator. It uses that. It hooks into that, hook in, click, and then starts its nefarious broadcasts in our conscious fuckingness, people. That is what it does. That is how it habituates people. Hence the trauma-based mind control. It is pivotal to it all, because people that are traumatized are like clay in the hands of the archons. They can mold it into any shape whatsoever. We can see it all around us, right? So already we are being habituated to the new language, the new normal. We know this anyway, if you think about it, right? I spoke the other day, I spoke about in this reality how you start to grow old, for example, and your health starts to decline bit by bit by bit. And that also becomes your new normal. Everything is normalized forever and ever, ad nauseam, in this realm, you see. 9/11. I mean, yeah, you can say what you like about Alex Jones. I know he's a reactionary, and he definitely probably was a bit, okay, but, you know, I like to look for pearls. And I remember that whole 9/11 debacle. Obviously, I was with it at the time already, slightly, somewhat, and I realised something was very wrong, and I started listening to Alex Jones a bit, and David Icke a bit, and whatnot, and it was like, okay, right, so they're going to do this, they're going to do that. And it's true, because there were all these people saying, well, you've got to give up your liberties to be free. You see? And they did. They did. We had the NSA, the National Security Agency. I mean, we ever since then, we entire panopticons have been set into fucking place, watching everything everybody does. There's people, oh, I don't go on Facebook because I don't want them watching me. They watch every email you send. It works like this, right? Every email you send will have a word in it that triggers something. Like a word, say, like I don't know, it could be government, or it could be terrorist, or disease, or freedom, or critical, or thinking, or it could be any kind of word, but it will trigger, and it's like, whoosh, you know. Or perhaps they want you to think that. I don't quite know. Maybe it's both true, maybe one is true, maybe the other is true. I know this much. Somebody I know is living in Italy, and we emailed a little bit, and back and forth. And I said to him, so what's been going on? And he said, well, they were in a flat in Turin, Torino, and they were fucking pacing up and down like you fucking would. You would be really not well in that situation. And the Carabinieri, which is the Italian police, and they're fucking reactionaries. They all have guns, big fuck off guns, and they're not very nice people. I was in Italy once and I got lost. I was in Turin. You know, this guy used to be my boyfriend many years back, and I was there and I got lost. And there was a Carabinieri, a young guy with a gun. And I asked him in English, can you tell me the road or the way to set place? And he turned his gun on me. Like, what the fuck? And then started rabbiting on at me in Italian. I had no idea what he was saying, obviously. So I thought, well, fuck it then. But it was scary. It was like, what the fuck? What's wrong with you? Anyway, so I know damn well that the Carabinieri are not very nice. Anyway, so the Carabinieri are in cars with loudspeakers at the top, going around the street saying, stay indoors, or else fines, you will get arrested, right? So they're in this flat and they're fucking panicking. So they said, right, that's it. They have a house in the mountains. So at some point they said, you know what? Can't do this anymore. We've got to get the fuck out of here. So under great duress and anxiety, he got with his girlfriend, presumably, he got in the car and they drove for many miles. And they never once saw any kind of authority figure. They got safely to their house in the mountains and they're there now, which is a good thing, and I'm happy for them. Here's the thing. That's how it works, isn't it? Have you ever noticed how every time there is a false flag attack, it's like, oh, cameras, surely cameras saw who did it and why and where and when and what not. And it's always, oh, the cameras didn't work. Yeah, the cameras didn't work that way. The cameras didn't work that day, sorry. You know, there was always a drill where they were playing out exactly that false flag attack. And then on the day that it happens, generally the day after or the week after, none of the cameras fucking work. Now, Any authority figure, and they do talk to us like we're fucking children, they do, they have a way of talking to you with that sexy new language, like they're very, what's the word, very condescending, patronising, you know, listen to us, you worthless little idiots, you know, and it's like that, and it's always the same, it's like fear, that if you do not do as we tell you to do, there will be hell to pay. And already we're seeing stories in the papers of people getting arrested for not sticking to their quarantine. You see, they're being arrested by the powers that be. But my friend got in a car and drove for many miles and never saw a fucking police officer or army figure or anything at all. Do you get what I'm saying? The greatest oppression lies in here, people. We believe it's true. It's dark generator. It's energetic. You can feel it because you can feel it in your body. You can feel that heavy energy, almost like I always call it the black oil. It's there and it oppresses you. Obey. It's just like in that film, They Live. He puts the glasses on. Obey. Obey. It's everywhere. And it's like, vroom, 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 obey, do as you're told, obey, or else, yeah? And be afraid of other people, they're harbingers of disease. So, if you think about it, from an AI type of perspective, this is perfect, because people are already completely hooked into the Internet of Things, and their apps, and their phones, so this societal distancing, as it were, has already been cleverly happening anyway. But this is just really putting the Putin, and you know, and people are already beginning to think, oh, this is normal. They seem to almost just forget what happened before. I saw this happen after 9/11. It was like, oh, you gotta give up your liberty to be free. There's an oxy-fucking-moron. And I saw that, and I heard that, and it was like, wow, fuck me. And no amount of proof will convince an idiot. Because I have a friend whose boyfriend is not having any of it. It's like, no, there's no such thing as a conspiracy. Everything is fine, you know. And he's trying to point it out to him, and it's like, no, not having it, you know. And it's like, Building 7 went down. There was a BBC reporter woman stood there, and behind her, it was collapsing. It was like, there you go, people. There you go. There it is. But no, not having any of it. It is the crowd that enforces the law, you see? Because you'll be saying, well, I'm going to be free. And I'm going to go for that walk, or I'm going to still commune with people. But other people police each other. People police each other, and that is exactly that. They do this for a reason, because, you know, ultimately the powers that be, whatever, don't actually have the resources to police us ad nauseam every day. They don't. They don't actually have that much power. Ultimately, the only power they have is what we allow them to have. They use the dark generator against us, but you see, we are soul travelers. It's not, this is a really fucking tough one, I know. Because I did feel it this morning as well, just lying in bed. It's like, wow, I might as well get up, because I can't sleep, because it's waves of anxiety. Because right now, I feel the onslaught of the dark generator. I know what they're doing. I know what they're up to, because I can feel it. Yeah? There's still a part of me that witnesses all of this taking place on my inner planes and my outer. And I witness it. And I'm present with it. But I'm so aware of, like I was telling you the other day, not in my last video, but the one before that, where I'm talking about the stones being put in a basket that we carry on our back, right? And it gets heavier and heavier and heavier. And yet it's, oh, it's normal, it's normal, it's normal. Yeah? So people be aware of that. None of this is normal. Norm.ALL. It isn't. Do not accept it. Right? There is some sort of virus going around, but it is not a pandemic. And it's not what it appears to be. And do not hate each other. Do not, if you envy other people. I mean, I've been there myself, you know. I've seen people who have done very well, who have money, who have security, who have this, that and the other. Yeah. And yes, it's made me have feelings of antipathy towards them. Yeah, because I'm thinking, well, life is so fucking easy for you, you fucking cunt. You know, and I've not, and oh, yeah, true. But you see, things are not always as they appear to be, people. And let us remember that money, status, a home, perceived security in this realm doesn't count for much. Truly. It really, really doesn't, you know. Because the powers that be can take all that away from you in an instant. Money, they created money. They created it to enslave all of us, you see. So they can take it away at any minute. And I keep my fingers on the pulse. And what I see happening in various corners and in the field is this push already towards a cashless society. Which this whole scenario is it, you know, we see what's going on, and we see that it's always multi-pronged. It's never about just one thing. They want a complete reset of this world, right? And yeah, they've been at it for so long. They're very patient, you see. And I'm not talking about the human counterpart of it. I'm talking about those behind the scenes, the real culprits. Call them what you will. They're very patient because I think they exist in a different time frame. And for them, for us, 100 years go by. For them, maybe, I don't know, a month. Maybe it works sort of that way. I don't know. But at any rate, people, there is strength in us, and there is strength in our communion with each other, you see. So rather than see each other as the enemy for having a perceived abundance of something that you do not have, ergo you're my enemy because you have a better life than me, that's not going to work anymore, people. That's the divide and conquer, right? Besides, it really isn't always what it appears to be. It just isn't. This is another thing I've noticed. It's where they say, well, other people have it so much worse than you, so be grateful and shut the fuck up. And it's like, well, just because somebody else is starving to death doesn't mean that I don't have any problems, right? So that's programming. That is getting you to think that you must silently live on your knees and put up with whatever they do to you, however they manipulate you. Because over there is somebody who's worse off than you. And they teach those who are worse off than you to look at you and say, oh, they're so much better off. I hate them. This is how revolutions start. Murder, mayhem, blood in the fucking streets, people. Yeah? And it doesn't serve anything. It always plays into the hands of the Archons every fucking time. Because the one thing that they hate is for humans, as in real people, souled people, to really awaken and to see through all that mind manipulation, perception management bullshit, psyop filth, divide and conquer shit. To, oh, isolate yourself, we are all alone together, fucking sexy but fucking fucked up language, psyop manipulation bullshit. Sorry guys, I'm like, oh, but And that is for us to say, you know what, we're going to stay in touch. We are, even energetically, from our heart center, we're going to reach out to each other. My friends over there in Ohio, my friend over there in Memphis, Indiana, or my friends in Cornwall, you know, you're in my heart and I'm in their hearts, and we connect, we keep connecting one way or another, people. They may cut the internet off, they may cut our phone lines, but they cannot cut out our fucking hearts. Our hearts are burning with love, people, for each other. And I care, I deeply care. I care for all those oppressed people and animals in the world. So much more than I could ever say. But it is not my fault that it is so. Understand this. I did not do this, nor did you. And you do not deserve to suffer like that. And neither do I. None of us do. It's the Archons, you see, who have manipulated us all for so long. Think about that. Let's not blame each other, and let's not see each other as harbingers of disease. Flatten the curve, flatten the curve. We're all alone together. This is divide and conquer, people, and they're trying to normalize it. Don't let it happen, and keep communing with yourself and with each other. Just close your eyes and imagine all the people that you love, all other soul travelers, and just send out that energy and that love and that power from your heart center. Send it out. Send your love and your light out into the world every fucking day. Feel that dark generator, because it is happening. There's no fucking thing we can do about it. So keep healing. Keep going within yourself. Keep being real with yourself. So these feelings of antagonism towards other people, address that. Say, oh yeah, I feel this way, it's true, I do. I feel this way because I'm angry, because I've been abused, because I'm going through absolute shit and I don't deserve this. So deal with that, go within, love yourself, but don't project it outwards towards other people. That is what they want. Don't do that. Feel that rage, because yes, you have been violated. And you don't deserve to live like that. The people of India do not deserve to suffer like that at all. They're amazing. The people in Morocco, the animals and all the beautiful cats in Morocco that I saw is absolutely dreadful, do not deserve to be treated like that. Nature does not deserve to be treated like that. Where I was driving in the desert and there was all these trees and it was like a forest made of plastic bags. Because wounded people, wound nature. There's a shitload of shit going on. Trauma, insanity. And somehow we can, if we choose, to find our center and emanate love and light out into this world and towards ourselves and towards other soul travelers. That is how we commune, somehow. And it may seem ineffectual, but believe me, it's not. And watch and listen and hear what's going on and see through it, see through the bullshit, see through that bullshit and through those lies. But because that's just not, no, we're not doing that. We're not. Anyway, I'll call it a day there, people. All my love to all of you.